So I'm going to walk you through the facility in a similar way to how a client would move through the program. We have a number of clients that come into the program that are victims of domestic violence. We have a number that come in that are the latest in a generation of living in poverty and have never really been in a stable environment with structure and supports in place to help them learn skills, practice skills, and really give them an opportunity to kind of pull themselves up from the bootstraps. That's what we provide here for them.
So I would say that the biggest barrier and what we see is the path that leads folks to having challenges with their financial picture is they were never taught. So whether it's in, the home where they grew up or as children, they were never given that skill set of how to manage their finances, how credit is so important, how maintaining, your good relationship with your landlord is really important. So we see it's from an educational standpoint, not being given those skills throughout their life. And so one of the things that we really push here is these are skills that you're going to learn that you need to teach your children, right? So it's an empowerment model of now that you know how to do these things on your own, you'll be able to pass it on to your family members and to your friends and to your kids.
When you ask the participant and get feedback, you find that it's important to put their needs first and customize them with an action plan is the best way. It helps their success rate. We're just assisting them. But I also believe that it gives them a little bit more ownership and to help identify what supports I need. Sometimes it's not necessarily telling them how to do, it's pointing a resource. And that can also be utilized in the program and then when they transition out into the community for self-sufficiency.
When we really started to find out about this in Delaware, the YW has been hearing about this, hearing some scuttlebutt about this for a couple of years. But this last year is when it really dramatically came to a head, when we were literally asked to have a meeting with some people that work with HUD and make some decisions on a local level regarding this and asked to reallocate to this new model or face losing our funding. We were notified of that in July. The notice of what HUD calls the funding availability notice for the renewals came out about 2 weeks ago, and we will find out between October 19th and November 19th whether or not we lose our funding. Our commitment to this is that whether or not we're funded again, we are going to continue to resist what HUD is doing. We think they're doing it with really good intentions, but the result of it is it's hurting homeless families and homeless kids who are the most vulnerable. I've been doing this work since I was 19 years old and I started the first shelter for homeless youth. I've worked with 10-year-olds who are on the streets. And it used to be that those 10-year-olds had a place to go. Now they don't. And if HUD continues, it's going to only get worse, and that's not okay. And so what we're looking for is people who can volunteer their time, whether they're attorneys or people with experience in legislative issues, to help us advance this on a national level, because we don't have those resources. And then also, especially if we lose our HUD money, that's 1/3 of the funding for home life. That's going to seriously compromise our ability to serve our families and continue to achieve more than a 90% success rate without, to be really candid, money. And the way that you can help home life is by going to our website, www.ywcade.org, and clicking on the I've Got the YWCA's Back link. And then you can find out how to help, who to contact, and more about the situation.